SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket is currently out of service. This rocket, a staple of the global space industry, is grounded and unable to launch. Here is what happened during a recent Falcon 9 mission, why the FAA has grounded it, and when we might see the Falcon 9 fly again. On July 11, 2024, SpaceX conducted a routine Falcon 9 launch from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. The mission aimed to deploy 20 Starlink satellites, a common task for Falcon 9, making these flights quite routine. The launch was successful with the stage separation occurring as planned, and the first stage landing on a drone ship in the Pacific Ocean. However, as the second stage ascended with its Merlin vacuum engine, viewers noticed an abnormal ice buildup on the rocket, which led to a speculation about a possible oxygen. The live stream ended before the confirmation that the second engine burn for the upper stage had occurred. Later, SpaceX revealed that the rocket failed to complete the second burn, which was scheduled about 52 minutes after liftoff. Consequently, the Starlink satellites were deployed into a lower orbit than the intended orbit. SpaceX confirmed that the issue was a liquid oxygen leak on the second stage and explained that while they attempted to rectify the situation, the satellites would burn up in the atmosphere without any danger. The primary concern is not the Starlink satellites but the rocket itself. As the backbone of the space industry, the Falcon 9 is critical. According to the report activity for 2023, we had 223 orbital launches, 109 from the US, and actually 91 were Falcon 9 rockets. The Falcon 9 supports a significant amount of commercial, government, and military missions, making its ground particularly impactful. This situation undergoes why NASA values having multiple providers to prevent mission delays from affecting the entire industry. So when a launch goes awry, the FAA typically initiates a mishap investigation. The FAA lists several conditions that trigger such investigation, including failure to complete a launch or re-entry as planned. Although the loss of some Starlink satellites is not catastrophic, the critical issue is identifying the rocket's problem and ensuring it won't occur again, especially with human missions. The investigation aims to pinpoint the failure and enforce corrective measures. Until the FAA is satisfied with SpaceX's response and actions, the Falcon 9 remains grounded. The FAA can either conduct its own investigation or review findings submitted by SpaceX. Coordination with the NTSB, NASA, and the Space Force might be required. Investigation can range from a few weeks to several months depending on the complexity. Though an oxygen leak is something straightforward that can take a little amount of time for SpaceX to be allowed to fly again. The main question here is, when will the Falcon 9 fly again? While the safety cannot be compromised, SpaceX is investigation permission to resume flights before the FAA complicates its investigation. But according to the reports from the Space Flight Now, SpaceX requested approval to return to flight on July 15th, and the FAA is reviewing this request. SpaceX previously successfully argued for an early flight license for Starship fourth test even before the previous investigation was concluded. However, this situation is more complex because Falcon 9 is an operational rocket that carries humans, unlike Starship that is uncrewed test. There are upcoming critical launches such as the Polaris Dawn, the first crewed spacewalk mission scheduled for no earlier than July 31st, and the NASA's Crew 9 missions targeted for mid-August. Both missions rely on Falcon 9, and this could face a significant delays due to the rocket's grounding. NASA's decision to use multiple providers for crewed missions highlights the importance of having alternatives in such situations. With Falcon 9 grounded and Starliner not operational, NASA might need to rely on the Roscosmos for any urgent crew transportation needs. Now, if the astronauts have been on the Falcon 9 during the incident, the situation likely would have been manageable. The mission have failed, but the second stage did not explode or break apart. It simply failed to complete its second burn. The Crew Dragon has engines capable of adjusting its own orbit, and a safe re-entry could have been planned. The critical question now is, when will the Falcon 9 fly back in action? The FAA might approve SpaceX's request to fly as soon as this week, given the rocket's impressive track record. Since May 2018, there have been 298 Falcon 9 launches, with 297 being successful, so meaning just one failure. This reflects around 99.67 success rate. Despite the recent failure, Falcon 9 remains highly reliable. However, it's crucial for the FAA to uphold figure safety standards. If the issue is simple and the fix is clear, resuming flights might be feasible. Nonetheless, FAA's thorough investigation is vital for ensuring future safety. For now, SpaceX can use its own payloads, like the Starlink satellites, to prove the rocket's reliability before resuming third-party launches. Regaining trust is essential, and ongoing situation will have significant implications for the launch industry until the Falcon 9 resumes operation.